Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to set up my 10 gallon tank, and I'm going to do this in phases. This is something that I'm going to try new with this aquarium. Usually in the past I've planted the entire tank and the entire hardscaping at once, and only to realize a week or two down the line that I really don't like the way it looks. So this time I'm going to try it a little bit different. So I'm going to do it in phases. And one more thing that I wanted to first apologize, guys, is I don't have the video footage of the hardscaping that I've done. What you see is here is actually the final product of the hardscaping. I lost the video footage of doing this hardscaping, so I really apologize for that. In this planted aquarium setup, I've decided to use carpeting seeds instead of carpeting plants themselves, purely because it was so expensive, and I was able to get the seeds for $6. And I also have shown a step-by-step tutorial on how to grow carpet from seeds in my YouTube channel, and I will put a link for you guys to look at it. But this is probably the day 7 or 8 after I sown the seeds and I did everything that I could to grow the carpet. So what you guys see is pretty much the 7th and 8th day, and I was pretty much satisfied with the carpet and the way I wanted it to be in the tank. The next thing that I also did a little bit different in this aquarium landscape is I didn't buy all the plants together. I started with a few plants and then try to build on top of it. So I got this Java moss at the beginning. So I decided to set up my Java moss. I set up this driftwood combination, and in this I'm using a combination of both glue as well as a thread to tie it. And one of the things that I've seen in Java moss is it's very capable of growing wherever you want it to be. You can use a glue. You can also use a thread, to tie on top of it. What I've seen is when you're trying to spread this across a larger area, it is a little bit better when I use a thread. So I kind of use a green thread so that it meshes with, or it blends with the Java moss, and the final product doesn't look like too thready. And Java moss is very capable of growing anywhere that you want. All you have to do is just push them into crevices and they'll go really, really nice. And this is the look and feel that I wanted from the driftwood and the Java moss combination. And in the final aquarium setup, you can see where it actually goes in. The next thing that I wanted to do is, I was playing with the substrate a little bit. I was not happy with how it was coming in. So I decided, okay, let me change the style a little bit. So I did kind of a split of a black and a brown substrate, so that the brown substrate can look like a pathway. And it's just, I was trying to play with what looks good. And you can see that towards the end, I went with a totally different direction. But I was just trying to play with it and see which one I like. This was the look and feel that I wanted to go with. And I don't know if it is right or if it is the way to do, but this is something that I tried in this aquarium, that I wanted to be as fluid as possible and to make some changes as I'm setting up this tank. I took almost 3 weeks for everything to be set up. So I was making changes along the way, and that is something that I just started to do with this aquarium. I don't know if it is a good decision to do the way that I'm doing it, but I will know at the end of this process whether it's the right thing to do or not. So as I told before, that I'm buying plants in batches. So the first set of plants that I bought was a combination of Anubias nana and Bolbitis. This is a Anubias nana, which is a very small plants, and I bought them in 3 pots. Each pot had 3 Anubias with nice roots, so a total of 9 plants. So I really like the Anubias plant because it is a very low maintenance plant, and you can stick them anywhere. You can stick them in a driftwood, you can glue them to the rocks, you can do whatever you want except we should be careful not to plant the rhizome into the root totally, because that will cause a meltdown. But other than that, this is a very nice plant, and Anubias plant generally grows horizontally. So when we are planting in the tank, just need to be aware that when it grows, it grows horizontally, and we need to have space according to it. Bulbitis is also another epiphyte plant, just like Anubias. Everything that I said for Anubias holds true for Bulbitis as well. The one thing that we need to make sure that we don't, plant the Bulbitis too deep, so that the rhizomes are actually, covered. That will cause a meltdown. And in fact, by a mistake, when I was doing this aquarium, I did that, but I realized it soon, and I was able to recover that. The general thing that we do in any planted aquarium setup is to first clean the plants, remove any excess of excess roots, any leaf that is actually spoiled, and just set them up so that we can plant it in the tank. I try not to cut a lot of leaves when I'm setting up the plant. Photosynthesis happens a lot in the leaves, and if you cut the leaves, the photosynthesis might be shunted. Eventually, the plant might pick it up, but during the initial stages, I try not to cut the leaves so that the photosynthesis can happen. And these Anubias nana plants are actually an epiphyte, like I've told before. So you can basically glue them to any hardscape, and they will actually grow from that. And that is what I was actually planning to do with this hardscaping, to glue the Anubias to the hardscape. But me, being a visual person, I wanted to see how it looks like where I wanted to keep it. So what I basically did here was just to keep them without gluing them in the places where I want them to be. Once I have all these plants in the places where I want to glue them, that will give me an idea of how it will look like in the finished product. I just wanted to make sure that the rhizomes are pointing in the right direction. As I've told before, these plants grow horizontally. I just wanted to make sure they grow in the right direction, and as they are growing in the right direction, they are also adding a look and feel to it. So I'm more of a visual person, so I'm just setting this up to see how it will look like. And if we want to make any changes, it will be very easy to see. And once we decide the final layout of how we are actually going to keep these plants inside the aquarium, then it's an easy step to glue them. In this aquarium setup, I glued most of my Anubias, and I've used a clear glue. And the process is very simple. Take 1 or 2 drops of clear glue and add them to close to the roots or rhizome, and then stick them into the hardscape that you want. Hold it for a couple of seconds, and after that you will be good. Just make sure that there is no water in it, because the moment you have water, the solidification process starts very fast, and it will just create a mess. That is the rhizome, the horizontal stem-like, and that is the direction in which the plant will grow. We just need to be careful that we do not push the rhizome into the substrate totally, because that will cause a plant meltdown. And as you can see that I'm just adding more Anubias, either gluing them through a glue or just sticking them. And that is the Java moss that I first set it up. And basically this is the look and feel for the phase 1. As I said that I'm adding plants in phases, so this is kind of like the phase 1, if you will. I use the brush to remove the substrate from the rock. It just gives a nice clean look. Now I'm adding the Bolbitis, and this is where I made a mistake of pushing the Bolbitis too hard. And in a day or so, I realized in a couple of days or so, I realized that the plants were not growing. That's when I realized that I pushed it too deep. I was able to recover it, but I'm just letting you guys know that you don't make the mistake like what I did. The next set of plants that I have is a crypt, and I really like the plant crypt plants. This is actually a tissue culture. I got it in a cup. I was able to make 6 pieces out of it, and each one will actually again grow horizontally. and just like Anubias, except that these have roots and they have to be inside the soil. One of the biggest and interesting challenges in the planted aquarium hobby is each plant are their own species, and each plant require their own mechanism to grow, and it's very easy to be deceived by how easy the professional make it look like. I've looked at a lot of videos of planted tanks over the years, and I thought, how difficult would it be to actually grow the plant? But then only to realize that each plant are unique and they have to be treated in their own. If not, like me, you will be wasting hundreds and thousands of dollars because of plant melting. But again, there is no better way to learn other than through experience. So this is probably my seventh or eighth tank, and in every single tank I made a mistake, including in this one, which hopefully I will avoid it in the next tank. This is the end of phase one, and this is how the aquarium tank looks at the end of phase one. I planted in all the plants, hardscape, driftwood and everything. So I wanted to just evaluate this for the next week or so. And what I'm going to do in the next week or so is to give more updates and provide some update videos. And I'm going to change this aquascape a little bit, but not too much. And I've also added CO2, and you can see that the plants are actually photosynthesizing. That is actually a good sign. And in the planted aquarium, if you see small bubbles with CO2, that's an indication that the plants are photosynthesizing. The photosynthesis is an essential part of the plant growth, and I'm glad that this is a good sign. And that's the final look and feel that I wanted to achieve. And thank you so much, guys, for watching this. And stay tuned for more updates on how I'm a little bit rescaping this. And thanks again for watching.